Am I the asshole for telling my sister to stop feeding her baby junk food? Feeling increasingly guilty about this, help me feel better or worse. My sister has a baby boy who turned 1 in June. I've recently been helping her out by looking after him while she and her partner move house. I've been increasingly shocked by what she sends him to my house with for lunch. This is now a sausage roll, either Greg's or a Tesco mystery meat from a multi-pack, 2 bags of crisps. I am not talking about lentil crisps, veg stick brands for babies. I am talking about actual crisps, chocolate biscuits, cake bars and most recently Jaffa cakes. There's always a yogurt, thank heavens, but that's it in the way of any form of nutrients. At first I tried the jokey approach, telling her my 3-year-old would start to get jealous of all these treats, that I was worried I couldn't cope with my nephew's sugar highs etc. After several weeks I've snapped and told her she is going to have a poorly child who loses all his teeth by age 5 if all she feeds him is junk, and she became upset and said she can't help it if her child is a fussy eater. She is now mortified, said I've accused her of being a crap parent and now things aren't the same between us. Maybe I should have kept my mouth shut, but he's a baby, and really should be getting a healthier diet. No idea what to do from here. Yes, she needs to feed him better. But you went the complete wrong way about it. Joking was never going to fix anything. And snapping and acting like the baby was gonna lose all of his teeth was a shitty thing to do. You are an adult. Learn to tell concerns to others like an adult with proper communication. Info. Did you try any form of communication in between your extremely passive jokes and snapping at her? Did you gently suggest any alternatives for what a 1-yo should be eating? I have a massively fussy eater. But at one I mean, even ham and cheese toast is better than these. Not the asshole, but please, I know it's not meant to be your responsibility, but please feed this baby some real food. Also, milk? You are the asshole. You didn't even try to talk to her sister to sister. You went from passive-aggressive joking then straight for her throat. There was no conversation where you said, hey, I'm seriously worried, can we talk? That's not cool. You are the asshole. It doesn't seem you and your sister were in an argument or even a discussion about what her child eats, you just went for her throat. You went from passive-aggressive to aggressive without ever hitting, sis, I'm actually really worried about this. Info. Did you ever actually talk to your sister about your concerns? Or just go from jokey to yelling at her? My kid is 5 now and she became picky when she was 1, too. It wasn't anything I did or didn't do, she just hated foods. Hated the textures, the different tastes, etc. How do you know your sister isn't struggling with the same problem? Am I the asshole for hanging up on my girlfriend for using baby voice? I absolutely hate baby voice. Probably a personal ick that has developed because it's usually used for mockery and or belittling someone. I can't stand being talked to in that tone of voice, and I've made it clear to my partners that I won't talk to them if they use baby voice. My girlfriend, 23, knows this, and when she uses baby voice I will usually just ignore it. Of course she takes this as egging her on sometimes, and I just tell her I really don't like it. Here's where I might be we were talking on the phone and she started using baby voice. I asked her to stop and she mocked me, so I simply hung up. She called back immediately and said I was immature because I can't take a joke. If she starts talking to me in baby voice I simply want to stop talking to her. Am I being too uptight and an asshole for not allowing her to make jokes in baby voice? Is it unreasonable to expect her not to speak to me like that? Not the asshole. There's a line between joking around and outwardly trying to annoy, upset someone. She's actually being a baby by acting this way. Start dating adults instead. You two aren't compatible because she has the maturity level of an 8-year-old. Not the asshole. Ironic to be called immature by someone who insists on talking like a baby. I'm with you on this, baby voice is fucking cancer. Not the asshole. I had an ex who would constantly use the phrase, it's just a joke, can't you take a joke? After belittling and insulting me, and I hated it. It always made me feel like maybe I was the problem when in reality he was just an asshole using a joke to insult me. A few of my friends in the past agreed that jokes are supposed to be funny. Not a scapegoat for mockery and disrespect. So genuinely, I would have hung up too if I told my partner to stop and they just continued to do so. At this point she's trying to make you feel guilty for not accepting the joke, when there is no joke to laugh about. You set boundaries and she's breaking them. I love how op is immature, when the girlfriend is the one not mature enough to respect a pretty simple boundary. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You told her more than once that you don't like it, and she continues to use it. After multiple warnings and asking her to stop, I don't think hanging up is taking it too far. If she won't listen, what else can you do but separate yourself from the problem? Am I the asshole? Estranged sister of 22 plus years asked for rent and I said no. Recently my blood father passed away. With that taking place, my half-sister who was adopted by my father reappeared after 22 plus years. In that 22 years she went on a meth bender that resulted in open heart surgery and giving up 3 children. One of them my mother took custody and raised while the others were given up to a church parish, I believe. She ran away to the Midwest and now resides in SoCal. On July 30th she asked me for rent for the month of July. I said I'd give her $400 but don't ask me for any more money moving forward. I honestly don't fancy a relationship between us. Before this I paid for her flight to attend my father's funeral out of respect for my father. Outside of the funeral there has been no contact whatsoever in 22 plus years. After all the childhood trauma she's done to my family, and am I an asshole for saying no to giving the full amount of rent? Not the asshole. Why are you even giving her $400? Why give her $400? Not the asshole. That's $400 more than what I would have given. She should be grateful for that. But you didn't say no. You said yes to giving her money, which is the wedge a drug addict will use to try and get in deeper. The only way to keep an addict out is to not allow that wedge. If she's not an active user, it's not so bad, but you don't indicate whether or not she's sober, so I'm assuming she's still using. Don't give her cash. Pay the landlord directly. I can almost guarantee your money is going directly to her dealer. I would not have given her anything. Not the $400 and not the plane fare. Am I the asshole for refusing to watch a dubbed movie with my dyslexic brother who can't follow the subtitles? We were in our parents' place. I had just pressed play in The Boy and the Heron, the Japanese anime that won the Oscar, and my brother came to the living room and said he wanted to watch it too. I always watch foreign movies and anything else in the original language, so when he noticed it was in Japanese with English subtitles, he asked me to change the language to English. I told him I would not, that's how I'd rather watch it, and I was watching it before he even came to the room. He reminded me he's dyslexic, which I know, and has trouble reading the subtitles. So I said he could watch it in English some other time or in his phone somewhere else. He was very upset about this and stormed out of the room and even got our mother involved. She came to find me later and asked me why I was making trouble. Not the asshole. Especially with that case. I find it incredibly distracting and jarring when the subtitles don't match the English, so I have a really hard time watching dubbed anime. That said, the living room is communal, so you maybe should have moved to a private space to watch something that couldn't be communal enjoyed. You are the asshole. This is a wonderful film to watch with family and the English dub is excellent and got a ton of praise. You're missing out on some great voice acting if you're only watching Ghibli subbed. It's well worth multiple watches with multiple casts. Your brother probably just wanted to connect and spend time with you. You don't give your ages, but this behavior seems young. Your brother has a disability and you could have accommodated it. That doesn't mean you have to watch dubs for the rest of your life. You just could have been a bigger person this time. You are the asshole. I think it would depend on why you were at your parents'. Is this a family holiday, where the point is group activities? Then you probably should have included him. Normal day, and there was no significance to this particular movie viewing? Then you're not at fault for wanting to continue your activity in your preferred fashion. Lol, classic sibling drama. Guess mom's still the referee, huh? You are the asshole. You waited until you were on a family trip to watch a film on the living room TV that only you want to watch. I agree with the mom. Why are you causing trouble?